Scarlets charges into another semi-final, and to hope to end that recent semi-final hoodoo here next week against the defending champions, the Glasgow Warriors. For the Scarlets, the end of the road this season, but Dwayne Peel will be able to reflect on what was overall a positive campaign.
Look, compared to where Scarlets were last year, getting to this stage and performing, they came up, they fronted up today, they're on a positive pathway. What happens with the club going forward, the players have done what's been asked of them, they've gone out and they've improved as the season has gone on. Leinster, they get the job done, 33 points in the bag, they march on to a semi-final, but they will certainly need to improve on both sides of the ball as they face Glasgow.
I'm sure they'll point to the fact that knockout rugby is all about winning, regardless of how you win, and they have managed that today. Leinster tries at important moments, a great start to the game. The Lowe and Gibson Park tries, but Scarlets, to their credit, fought their way back into it, and just a point down at half-time. But ultimately, Leinster had the strength off the bench to see them through in the second half. They were heading for the semi-finals off the back of a victory here at the Aviva Stadium. Leinster 33, the Scarlets 21.
Thanks to Des, Fiona and Darren. So folks, as the guys were saying there, Leinster got the job done. They're into the semi-final, but what did you make of it, Jamie?
Not the most, like, they won, right? So that's the main thing, and that's what they'll care about. But that Monday review, if it's honest, will not be good. You know, they dominated territory, dominated possession, but still, you know, were lacklustre, I think, with their cut through in attack for the standard that they have themselves, and also for the quality of players that they have on the field. Also, it's kind of a bit concerning that, you know, these last couple of games, they've been leaking a lot of tries, which we were not used to seeing in terms of that defensive system and pressure that they put on. And that's not good, because they're just, I keep saying this, they're leaving those breadcrumbs out there for the other teams that are looking at coming in here to take them on.
Yeah, because, you know, that opening 10 minutes and they ran in those 2 tries, we thought this is going to be kind of a cricket score affair potentially, but that's really not how it turned out.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you can credit the Scarlets for sticking in it, and we heard that they were going to, you know, see how long they could stay in it. Leinster just have too many quality players to compete for the Scarlets there, and they were able to kind of get over the line. But I can see Jamie and Birch's concern. You know, they've called it blunt and, you know, lackluster. It looked rudderless, and I as ex-players, we're always really tough on the players because, you know, they got to drive it. But I would say management and coaches need to have a look at the performance there. You have players like Barrett, one of the greatest players ever to play the game. You've the likes of, you know, Hugo Keenan and James Lowe, and all we're seeing at this point of the competition is him kicking the ball. I know you've got to win games and find a way, but honestly, it's like having Ferraris and using them to spread silage. It is just, you know, I'm slagging, but it is really frustrating. And you can see it with this crowd, like another poor turnout here today. Like, the Aviva is our home. This is where rugby should light up. You should be excited to come here. You couldn't fault the crowd there for watching that type of rugby, and it's a concern for me. You'd be better off putting a load of bones and castles there and even a load of first communions in. It was bad. It was really bad. And look, I think as ex-players we'll wash it over on the players, and that shouldn't be the case. I don't think. I think that coaching setup, that management team need to set them up better than that. There's too many good players. There's too many important players to Ireland to be able to perform like that.
Yeah, attendance here today just over the 12,000 mark. Jamie, what do you make of that? Like what Donncha is saying, that Leinster just aren't getting enough, or what they need to get out of this quality roster of players they have?
Look, I think it's a fair point. I mean, it was 9 lines in the starters, internationals throughout, and a bench loaded, ready to go. They have quality, and the standard on the field didn't match. Sorry, the outcome they got the outcome, but the quality and the way that they did it didn't match the standard of the players that they have on the field, and you can't keep just lumping it on the players. You have to look at the coaching and what the message they're giving them.
Okay, well, let's hear from the player of the match now. Hugo Keenan is with Connor.
He certainly is, and the Leinster captain Jack Conan is on hand to present Hugo Keenan with his BKT URC player of the match accolade. Hugo, congratulations, safely through to the next round, the semi-final against Glasgow to come. But your thoughts on what was a tough assignment today?
Yeah, we'll take the win. knockout finals rugby. It's never going to be pretty. We know it's probably not the performance we were wanting. It was a little bit scrappy, a little bit indisciplined, but fair play to Scarlets. They're a good side. They made it difficult for us. So yeah, we're just happy to get through and on to the next now.
In terms of the work-ons ahead of Glasgow, who can be a tough opposition, played really well against the Stormers last night. What do you put your finger on?
Yeah, I mentioned a few of the things there. Our discipline wasn't great. We were a little bit loose in that first half with the ball. The conditions made it a little bit tricky, but we should have managed the game a little bit better. And yeah, we know Glasgow are going to have their tails up. They were great last night, in fairness to them. So yeah, it'll be a tougher game.
Well done, Hugo. Congratulations.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we're delighted that Dan Sheehan has joined us now in our presentation point here on the pitch side. Dan, you came on and made an impact certainly in that second half. You're into the semi-final. What did you make of the game overall?
Yeah, it was a tough one. You know, Scarlets stayed in it for the whole game, and that's exactly what we expected. And we prepped well during the week for a tough battle, and I think we focused on our physicality, and it showed at times in our defence for sure. But you know, Scarlets are a quality outfit that picked us off once or twice. They had a very nice sort of set piece play that worked well for them. So I thought we did well, good at half time to sort of regroup, find our little work-ons, and come out with a bit of energy at half time.
Yeah, was there times you kind of lost your way? You really let Scarlets disrupt you throughout that game?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think their attack has been very good. They're able to move the ball from edge to edge very quickly, and they've some good athletic forwards, especially in that back row and second row. So they found us out a few times, which is a good challenge for us, and you know, it'll all hold with us until next week against Glasgow here again.
How's Josh? Yeah, Josh went off. Obviously, we probably didn't get to see him, but of course, with lines on the track, I suppose there are all the concerns, injuries, bangs, knocks, all okay?
From what I know, I'm not too sure, but I think he was a bit tight before the game in the warm-up, so I think it might have just came on a bit more during the game, so I think they took him off.
Dan, what were the messages at half-time, and what do you think the messages are going to be on Monday in the review?
Yeah, I think in the first half our discipline wasn't great. Gave them a lot of access through penalties and stupid errors, so I'm sure that will come up on Monday. And then just ball control. We were doing some things out of the sort, throwing some 50-50 offloads that weren't on. And you know, we just need to look after the ball, trust that our process will break teams down. So I think that's definitely something on Monday.
Dan, tell us about what the last few weeks have been like as a group. It's been an emotional roller coaster individually. The Northampton game, highs and lows. You've been at end of season awards dinners. Very strange few weeks. And how does that set you up for the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's been up and down, but I think we've done a good job sticking together and trying to block as much outside noise as possible and just focusing on the job at hand. And you know, it's hugely exciting. We haven't won a trophy in a long time, so the URC is you know, a special competition for us. And you know, the competition's fierce every week. So you know, I think mentally we're in a good spot. I think we're looking after each other well, and I think that's all we can do. And you know, we'll rip into our prep now for Glasgow during the week and go again.
And tell us a bit more about that outside noise. Like, you try and protect yourself from it, but it must be difficult. Trophy.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's great to see that, you know, rugby is growing, and you know, there is outside noise and people are chatting about it, but you know, it doesn't do much for the players on the pitch really. So you know, we have to do our job at being able to deal with it, but also if we can block it out, we'll block it out, and we'll focus on ourselves. So you know, I think we're in a good spot, and looking forward to next weekend.
Yeah, is there a lot of pressure now, Dan? Obviously, after the European disappointments and now the pressure to deliver a trophy, are you feeling that week on week now as you navigate these knockouts?
Yeah, we put the pressure on ourselves. You know, we set out our goals at the start of the year, and it's a trophy at the end of the season. So we haven't been able to do that the last couple of years, so that just drives us on further. And you know, I think everyone's very hungry to get a trophy. But you know, we set it every week. We can only focus on the week next week. So we'll be doing our good job next week now.
And what about the upcoming trip to Australia? Do you keep that completely out of your head for now?
Yeah, it's obviously tricky to keep it out of your head, but it's a hugely exciting time to be in my career. You know, it's obviously a massively proud moment for me and my family to be selected. But you know, we have to stick to the task at hand, and this is something that I've wanted for a long time. Is a URC title, so you know, I'll be all eyes on that.
Okay, well, best of luck with that and for next week as well. Thanks for joining us, Dan.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a million. You can leave that there. Thank you.
Good on you, Dan.
And we're also going to hear now from the Leinster captain today, Jack Conan, is with us.
Jack, well done. Safely through to the semi-final. The season extends for at least another week. What's your review on today's performance overall?
Good in parts. I think our indiscipline killed us a little bit. Gave a lot of soft penalties. So far, the Scarlets just stuck in it and they battled hard. So they're a team with a lot of passion, and I think they pushed us at times. I think we were just inaccurate and just forced things a little bit. So look, good to be having another week, but yeah, some frustrating bits there.
When you say you're forcing things, is there a little bit of nervousness, anxiety within the camp, given it's knockout season and it's a while without a trophy?
No, I don't think that's it. But I think it's just, you want to have lads want to have big moments. They want to feel like they're doing well, and sometimes it's just a little bit of over-eagerness, a little bit overzealous, and you force things a little bit, and sometimes you get away with them. Ref doesn't pick them up, but I thought Holly was great there today, and she was fairly on the money with her calls. So we just gave away some stocking penalties. I don't think it's anything more than lads trying a little bit too hard.
Glasgow were missing quite a number of players when they came here in European competition. They looked pretty good against the Stormers at Scotstoun last night. You know them well. How far away do you think Leinster are from a big full medal performance at this stage of the season?
How far away are we? I don't know, next Saturday. That's as far away as we are. I know that's probably not the answer you wanted, but yeah, look, Glasgow, it's strange when you play the team kind of in the last 6 weeks, played them twice, so kind of helps with the prep a lot because you know what they're going to do to some degree, but then again, every time you scout a team, they always come with something a little bit different. So I don't think we were great the last time we played them. Obviously we had a good win in Europe, but they have lads coming back in and everything else, so it'll be a tough test for us.
Thanks for your time as always.
Cheers, thank you very much.